Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Thanks for joining me, guys, on this impromptu live. We got a lot to talk about today. Let me bring the volume up a little bit. You hear myself a little bit better. I like it. All right, perfect. Guys, I got a really good show for you guys today. Really good show. I got a theory, man. I got a theory. It's been dogging me for a little while, guys. But before we get into that, we're going to get into that. It's going to be quite a substantial show. Hopefully it won't be too long, but we got a lot of audio we need to listen to. We got a lot of statements we need to read to try and really understand what's going on here. Before we get into that, I just read my feed. There's been some unidentified drones flying over New Jersey. You guys know I'm not a conspiracy theorist, man. I don't dive in those worlds, man, but there's drones flying over New Jersey that nobody knows what they are, where they're coming from. And I just read a statement from the New Jersey State Police saying that these drones are operating in an unknown, undetectable frequency. Now, we all know drones use radio frequency or Wi-Fi for you to be able, and Wi-Fi is a radio wave too, for you to be able to communicate with the drone with whatever receiver you're using. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds, but that's troubling for me when the state police is saying they can't detect this frequency that's controlling these drones. I don't know. We're going to talk about that some other time. We're going to definitely talk about that maybe in the members section, but it's a lot going on in the world, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot going on in the world. It's just weighing on me, and when something weighs on me, I like to bring it to you guys' attention. Anyway, back to what we're here for. We're here to talk about Maddie, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to talk about this beautiful little girl who lost her life, who was failed by the most important person in her world, her mother. Madeline Soto was failed by the most important person in her world, her mother. And we kind of went through on this channel a couple shows ago. Big shout out to everybody who's been joining me on these other topics that I'm covering. Great feedback. Just did a show on Hannah Kobayashi. It's approaching 10,000 views. I really appreciate the support you guys are giving me. But a few shows back, we talked about why I had feelings that I was trying to flesh out with facts as to whether it can be proven that Jen Soto actually went to pick up Maddie at the school. Now, normally, if any other parent would have said, yeah, I went to a school to check and see if she was, coming out to pick her up, any other parent, I would say, yeah, that sounds plausible. I wouldn't question it. If I was the investigator on the case, of course, I'm questioning everything. I want to double check everything. I want to get proof of every single thing everybody tells me. But just as a casual viewer, as a person outside of that world, I would say, okay, yeah, the parent went to pick up the daughter and she wasn't there. But when Jen Soto says it, I give it a side eye. Why? Because I don't trust Jen Soto. So we're going to start this conversation off with us having an understanding, ladies and gentlemen. And the understanding that we have to have for us to have this conversation is Strategic does not trust Jen Soto. So every time I hear something from the likes of Jen Soto, I must trust and verify. Why? Because I can't trust a mother who says to another father, listen, father, your son is accused of abusing my daughter in the worst way. I think you should get him an attorney. I can't trust a mother that says, well, the sex stuff is bad, but the murder, the sex stuff is kind of bad, or whatever she said. We all know that statement. But the murder would be evil. But the sex stuff is not evil, I believe she said. We all know what she said. Her actual words shocked us to the core. I can't trust a mother that had that kind of mindset. So we've got a baseline here, guys. And the baseline is clear. When it comes from Jen Soto's mouth, for me, it's trust. Well, it's not trust. It's not trust, and verify before we can trust, okay? Now, a big part of this case, in its inception, the beginning, the genesis of this case, was where was Maddie? Where was Stephan Stearns? The case began with these two. The case, unfortunately, as we know, has ended with these two, especially since the Osceola County District Attorney has decided, in my opinion, that they will not charge Jen Soto. I know people out there have hope. Some people feel like they know she's definitely going to be charged. Some people hope that she gets charged. Whatever. We all have our opinions, including me. Nobody's opinion is better than anybody else's opinion. My opinion is, based off of my experience, based off of what I see coming out of this case, she will not be charged. She'll only be charged if they discover evidence that shocks us all. Evidence such as that proves that she had something to do with the essaying of Madeline Soto. Evidence that proves she had something to do with the offing of Madeline Soto or the hiding of the body of Madeline Soto. If those things can be developed via investigation, of course she's going to be charged. In no way am I saying they would not charge her if they didn't have that information. But so far, they have not been able to develop that type of evidence against Jen Soto. So in the absence of evidence of that gravity and magnitude, she won't be charged, in my opinion. So the case began with Stephan Stearns and Madeline Soto, and the case appears to be ending with Stephan Stearns and Madeline Soto. And when the case began, it was, where was Maddie? Where was Stephan? What were the alibis? And one of the major alibis was McDonald's. McDonald's was the excuse for Madeline leaving the home earlier than she usually leaves the home. I read in one of these documents that Jen Soto said that Madeline usually left around 8:50, of course, being driven by the mother. Stephan had to have a reason to be out of the house way earlier than 8:50 a.m. And that reason was McDonald's, the special McDonald's breakfast that never sat right with True Crime with Strategic from day one. Go back into the archives. We have over 200 videos on Maddie. Go back to the earliest videos. Give them some views. Watch how my view on this case has morphed and evolved. That's part of the fun part about doing YouTube. You don't have to always be right. You can evolve. Watching that evolution is part of the fun. Go watch those earlier videos and listen to me joke on how McDonald's is not a special breakfast. Some people were countering in the chat. They were like, oh, McDonald's is a special breakfast. My kids would love to go to McDonald's for breakfast. Well, then I just chalked it up to my kids just being bougie. Because if I'm like, hey, guys, let's go to McDonald's for a special breakfast, they'd be like, huh? I mean, I wouldn't mind going to McDonald's for breakfast, Dad, but I wouldn't necessarily call that special. Well, in my mind's eye, there was nothing special about McDonald's, so why did he keep trying to emphasize that this was something special? Unless he wanted to really push the point that they were leaving early to go to McDonald's, that it was planned, that it was something that was agreed upon. It was something that Maddie was looking forward to. But if that was the case, why did Maddie suddenly change her mind in the morning? Now, we all know this is all bull crap, ladies and gentlemen. We know it's all bull crap. It's not real. We know this. It never happened. The girl never made it out of that apartment alive. We know that. But it was his alibi. And guess who conveniently, ladies and gentlemen, conveniently buttressed his alibi? One Jen Soto. So the question we're going to ask today, ladies and gentlemen, is, did Jen Soto and Stephan Stearns concoct this story of Stephan Stearns taking Madeline Soto to McDonald's in the morning to give Stephan Stearns an alibi? Number one, because there's an issue here. that has ramifications for the entire case in my mind's eye, my investigative mind. If he planned the McDonald's, and he really did plan it with Jen and with Maddie, it would definitely show premeditation, that he intended to kill her that night and needed to be able to get up earlier than everybody else in the house to dispose of the body. The problem is, I don't believe that he planned her murder out prior to actually killing her. I think something happened in that room. I think the anger was there possibly, but something happened in that room, whether it was a rejection of him by her. That's what send these psychopathic, graping guys over the edge. Usually it's rejection. Usually it's an insult. Usually what sends them over the edge. I remember the migrant guy who killed the exotic dancer lady. I forgot her name. I did a show on her. I apologize that I forget her name. What made him kill her is when he was driving as an Uber, driving somebody else's car with no license, because of course he's not an American citizen. And he turned her around and offered her money for intercourse. She said no. He then went into the backseat, started to try and forcibly grape her. And in the process of forcibly graping her, she made a comment like, you're ugly, you look like trash, and you have a very small member. And it's the insult that she gave him is what made him decide to kill her. It was the insult that took him over the edge. Maybe he would have killed her anyway, but it's possible she could have survived the encounter. I'm not saying she shouldn't have said that. I'm just hear me out. So when I look at that case, I look at other cases, I look at what I've studied and what I know about these type of evildoers. In many instances, it is the insults or the rejection that send them down a murderous path. So I think something happened in that room that maybe murdering her was on his mind, but made him move faster than he normally would have. Made him do something he probably didn't really plan for or plan to happen at that moment, because the ability was there. He was capable of murder, obviously. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he was interested in doing it now. Very interesting. Very interesting. I feel like this was premeditated. I feel like they planned this together. But there's so many implications that come with it, because if they planned it together, that means that Jen Soto would have known that Maddie was gone. And that means that she would be guilty of accessory after the fact. And there's no evidence of that right now. So I guess before we get started, I have to say everything here is alleged. It's just my opinion and my theories. And we're just having a thought exercise to Jen Soto's high-powered attorney that she bought with your GoFundMe money. All that money you nice people gave to give her daughter a nice burial that nobody knows where that money went because the burial allegedly was paid for by a local business. We got to definitely be careful and say it's all alleged. It's just our opinion before that high-powered attorney gives us a call. So I want to start off with playing her interview that she did with who we call Detective Kevin. That's our special name for him. And we're going to listen to some of these interviews where she's going to walk through that night. And so I'm interested in that night. We're not listening to the whole interviews. Of course not. These are 3-hour interviews, maybe 5-10 minutes of each interview. We're just going to walk us through that night. And then we're going to read some of these statements, and we're going to try and see if we can find something in there that can make us understand if this really happened or if it's something that they made up together in order to give this man an alibi. Because from what we've seen throughout these interviews, Jen Soto will say and do anything to protect Stephan Stearns. Jen Soto will say and do anything to protect Stephan Stearns. We've seen multiple times where detectives have called out Jen Soto to her face and said, why will you always protect Stephan Stearns, but you won't stand up for your own daughter? They said it to her in her face in this very room. So I ask you the question before we get started. Do you believe anything that Jen Soto says? I don't know. I do not believe. And after I do not believe, I verify. Let's keep going.
The goal, obviously, Kissimmee Police Department's doing most of this investigation. We're at the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Our people, we have resources out there, obviously doing active. So it's kind of a joint effort. So Detective Small is kind of, we're going to go read through the timeline of everything else. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to go from there. All right.
You want me to go through the whole timeline?
Yeah, we'll start with Sunday. Take you through Sunday.
Okay. Sunday. Can I have tissue?
Yes, ma'am. Now should you grab some?
I totally forgot I got this beanie on my head. I'm over here like channeling my inner Tim Pool. Let's keep going.
So actual tissues?
No, that'll work.
I can give you this whole roll.
So Sunday, birthday party. She spent the whole day at my mom's house. They celebrated with the whole family. I was at work. I just started a new job last week or the week before.
Okay. Where's that at?
Walt Disney World at Coronado Springs, front desk concierge.
Okay.
I was finishing up my last day of, no, it wasn't even my last day of training. I was still in the middle of training. Sunday in the middle of training, I couldn't miss to go to her birthday party. So I went to work. I was with my family all day. She had the best day. She was so happy when I got home and I saw her. At my house around 8:30 that night. I wasn't home. She got dropped off alone. About 10 to 15 minutes later, Stephan showed up.
At your house.
Well, let me bring that back a little bit. I missed that. And guys, please hit that like button. Hit the like button, support the channel so we can get in this algorithm. Do appreciate it. So where are we at? We're at 426. I just want to hear what she said about Stephan coming back in. 417 should be enough. Let's listen.
She got dropped off alone. About 10 to 15 minutes later, Stephan showed up.
All right, so she got dropped off alone. So she got dropped off by her family, by grandma, auntie, somebody, whoever. They dropped Madeline home. Madeline is alone. Then 10 to 15 minutes later, Stephan now arrives at the home, and then Jen Soto arrives after that. So there's a certain amount of time that Stephan Stearns is alone with Maddie in the home. All right, 'cause remember, a lot can happen in just a few minutes. A lot can be spoken about. A lot of emotions could develop. A lot of anger, happiness, joy, illegality, illegal things can happen in the span of just a few minutes or seconds. I'm just saying, he's alone with Maddie for a number of times. Let's see how long, if she'll say how long he was alone with Maddie. Let's keep going.
At your house in Kissimmee.
At my house in Kissimmee, he called me. Or he texted me, I don't remember. But he let me know he was there and that she was getting ready for bed. She was doing her routine. So she took her nighttime meds and she got in the shower to get ready for bed.
All right, so that's a substantial amount of time that she was there alone with this guy. Shake Maker said that the sister dropped her off. That's a substantial amount of time that he was alone with this little girl. Now listen, the only reason I'm pointing it out, well, we all know what he was doing to this girl, but that happened almost daily for years. I mean, the reason why we're talking about it is because this is the night that she ceased to exist after this night. That's why it's so much more telling what happened specifically on this night compared to every other night when she was basically experiencing a horrible existence for a human being. And also, what changed on this night compared to every other night that Stephan Stern had access to this little girl? What changed on this night that resulted in her ending up losing her life? When they have engaged in this sick routine for years, and she never was a bruised to a point where teachers are noticing that she's hurt, she has choke marks on her neck, bruises on her body, or anything like that. What happened that we go from the typical profile of a pedophile, which most pedophiles are not murderers, but just a pedophile, typical profile of a live-in boyfriend pedophile with a dysfunctional mother who is unable and unwilling to supervise and ensure the safety of their child. What happened from that profile to then the profile of a cold-blooded murderer? And when you mix the two to actually being the profile of probably one of the worst type of human beings in human history. Understand, he's not the first person and only person to do these things, but he is in an elite club of the type of person that commits two of the most horrible crimes you can commit against another human being. And our penal laws across our country mimic this idea that there's no worse thing that you could do to another human being other than ending their life. And the second most worst thing, kind of English am I using? Most worst thing? The second worst thing you could possibly do to a human being would be to violate their body. Those are the two highest charges in that order: unaliving and body violation that we have in our penal law. Stephan Stern's covered both of those things, and then he has an asterisk because you add to the fact that his violation of a body was done to a juvie. I'm using YouTube-friendly words. So if you really look at Stephan Stern's, he is the worst human being we've seen. We watch true crime all the time. How many times do you see your notifications go off and Law and Crime is showcasing somebody like Stephan Stern's? If you're a true crimer, you know you got Law and Crime with those notifications set to on. And you know you got Court TV set to on too. And you know you got the Strategic Eyes on. Says, yeah, right. How many times do you turn on your phone and you get those YouTube notifications of your favorite true crime channel? How many times do you see a person that fits the profile of a Stephan Stern's, which is a baby graper and a murderer? Not often, ladies and gentlemen. Not often. Anyway, big shout out to Jamie Peace with a $5 super chat. Says, unfortunately, I think your theory of necrophilia plays a factor in this situation. He has that weird fetish. Now, she's definitely a member because I've never said that theory out in the wild. I just didn't want to say it out there for all of YouTube. I haven't spoken about it in a while either. I said that a couple months ago that I believe that he had some type of necrophilia type fetish, but I never spoke about it in the wild. But I hear you. That's possible. That's why you should join the membership, people, because we talk about things on the membership and in the Patreon. We do not talk on YouTube. Big shout out, Jamie, and thank you for being a member of the channel as well as showing love with that very generous Patreon, very generous super chat. Thank you so much. Let's keep going.
What meds? What does she take?
She takes hydroxyzine.
Okay. What is it for?
It's for anxiety and for sleep.
Okay.
Now, could she take that by herself?
All right, hold on here. I want to bring it back a little bit, but I got to give big shout out to big friend of the show, Jules, who's also a moderator. Jules says, Strategic, Aki, Erica, and Strategic fam, it's hot in here in Sydney. I'm just driving to the airport. I got to pick up my mom, so I can't be in the chat right now. I'm listening along with you guys in my car. We love you, Jules. Big shout out to Jules. I love Jules. She's a really awesome person and is very helpful and very kind to the show with her time. So thank you so much, Jules, for showing the love that you show me. Let's keep going.
Or would he have given that to her?
I think she took it by herself. She got home and she had already taken it.
How do you know that?
That's what he told me.
That's what he told you. Okay.
He was there when you got home? You got home, they were already at the apartment?
I don't like her taking her meds without somebody visually watching her, because I don't want her to accidentally grab the wrong pill. She's comfortable enough to grab the pill, but I'm like, no, I need to watch you take them.
You know, here's another instance where Jen is making Maddie out to be an invalid. Like she's not smart enough to know what pills to take. Let's be serious here. First of all, Maddie wasn't taking 20,000 pills. And even if she was, there are pill organizers where you can say, where it says Monday morning, Monday night, Tuesday morning, Tuesday night. And you just put the pills inside that need to be taken during the time they need to be taken. She always tries to make Maddie out to be an invalid. She always tries to make Maddie out to be some type of individual that I don't know, the words escape me. Cognitively impaired. That's what I wanted to say. Always trying to make Maddie look like she's cognitively impaired. She's not smart enough. She doesn't have the faculty to open up a cupboard and remove 2 or 3 pills and take them as prescribed with a glass of water. That she needs to be supervised to take these pills. This girl was 13 years old. She was not 4 years old, but let's keep going. It really irks me. Let's keep going.
Has there ever been an issue with that in the past where she took too many or took the wrong thing? Or just like a thought in your mind?
No, just a thought in my mind, just me being hypervigilant. I want to physically watch her take her meds and watch her grab 2, take them. I don't ever want there to be an accident of she took too many or she took, my biggest fear is that she would take Adderall by accident.
All right, so somebody in the chat says that Maddie didn't want to take her medication after February. I know that we saw some evidence that she stopped taking the meds and stuff like that, but that's not the reason. I'm not saying that the person in the chat is saying that, but I'm just throwing it out there. That's clearly not the reason why Jen felt that Maddie needed to be supervised to take a medication. She just said the reason. She said, I want to make sure she don't take too many pills or take Adderall by accident. She never said something about, well, Maddie really didn't want to take her medication, so we had to watch her take the medication to make sure that she took it. She's basically saying, once again, this cognitively impaired or in decline or something, you know, not smart enough, can't even wipe her own butt when she goes to the bathroom. That's what she's trying to put out there to the universe. That Maddie couldn't count 2 pills. Maddie couldn't read that this says Adderall on it. Something you're taking for years. The pink bottle is the Adderall. The green bottle is this. Like she can't figure this stuff out. That you can't show her 2 or 3 times and she won't know that this is what you got to do to get through this process. But anyway, let's keep going.
Her daytime meds.
Got it.
I got home around 10:30. I started getting ready for bed myself. I started eating and taking my meds because I have to take meds. When I went to take my meds, I realized, oh my God, I forgot to take my Saturday night's meds, which is why I felt so weird and so abnormal and not myself Sunday while I was at work. Everyone at work noticed I was acting different and not being myself. Like I couldn't smile in front of the guests. I felt this wave of depression that I hadn't felt in years. It was my bipolar symptoms coming up again that I've been medicating myself for all this time. I realized I forgot to take my meds and I said, you guys, I need a good night's sleep. I need to take my meds.
All right, so we're waiting to hear about McDonald's. I don't know if she talks about McDonald's in this particular one. I have other ones that she definitely talked about McDonald's. We have those time-stamped and ready. But I wanted to start with this video because now is the point where she's about to go to bed. I want to see if she brings up, remember, this video, this happened 3/1/2024. This is after all those other videos. So I want to see if she talks about McDonald's because remember, McDonald's is extremely important. Even though at this point she knows McDonald's didn't happen, it would still be important for her to say, well, he lied to me. He said he was taking her to McDonald's, but we all know now she didn't go to McDonald's. Does she make mention of McDonald's, even though it was such an important conversation that was had between her and Stephan Stearns, not once, but twice, allegedly the night before Maddie was taken off of this earth, and around 10:18, when Stephan Stearns called her and told her, hey, took Maddie to school, but we didn't go to McDonald's. 10:18 is the time Jen Soto gave the police. Let's keep going.
I said
Big shout out to Elise Fairbanks, who's now a recruit member. Thank you so much for joining the channel and supporting me.
them to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom so that I could get a good night's sleep. I suggested that we all sleep together in the same bed together, but not the easiest person to sleep with. She rolls around, she punches, she kicks. We have a king size bed and she typically sleeps on one side, and she'll end up on my side when we wake up.
Okay.
So I asked her, I'm like, no, please, I need a good night's sleep. If you guys can go upstairs and let me sleep. I had asked Stephan to take her to school in the morning.
We'll go to Sunday. So Sunday you took your meds. What meds, if you don't mind me asking, what meds do you take? And like, how does it, do they put you to sleep deep? Does it help you fall asleep, or does it help regulate you? What kind of happens when you take the meds?
So they do all of the above. They make me sleepy, they help me stay asleep, and they help me function. So I'm stable all day. They only work well if I've got a good night's sleep and if I've eaten with them the night before when I take them, or the night I take them. The medication is called Geodon. Generic brand is called Ziprazidone. I took my meds, and then I told them to start getting ready for bed, to start heading upstairs and get ready, because it was already almost 11 o'clock. It's past her bedtime. She needs to go to sleep. So I sent them upstairs. I think he may have come down at one point to pee.
Ziprazidone is prescribed, is an antipsychotic. It can be prescribed to treat schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, psychosis, what else? Sorry. Schizoaffective and other things. She's taking a heavy drug, real heavy drug she's taking. Shake Maker with a $4.99 super pound. I love saying that when it comes from England. A super pound. Yes, I agree. She inserted herself into the planning of McDonald's, which was their alibi for leaving early, getting Maddie's body out unseen. Yes, I do. I'm starting to think that way. I'm starting to think that. Let's keep going.
Eat before bed, and then he went back upstairs. He uses my restroom because the roommates upstairs don't want to share a restroom with a male.
Okay.
Yeah, so he uses my restroom. Sorry, where did I
You're fine. Sunday night he came downstairs, maybe overnight, to use the restroom.
Yeah, and then he went back upstairs and they went to sleep.
And Shake Maker corrected me. Scotland. Get it right, baby. Not England, Scotland. Much respect, Shake Maker.
Right, I think they went to sleep.
Okay.
I went to sleep. I was woken up at some time. For the longest time, I've been saying he woke me up at 8 o'clock in the morning because I assumed he was taking her to school and getting ready for school. But in reality, I don't know what time he woke me up. The sun was out a little bit. It was still a little dark. And I was very sleepy. When I got up, I was kind of drunk. But he came in to walk the dog, to put the leash on the dog and walk him.
Was the dog in the room with you?
Yes.
So did he wake you up on purpose, or was it just kind of like the causation of him opening the door and you realizing somebody was there?
Yeah, the causation of him putting the leash on the dog, because the way the dog
All right, so she didn't say nothing about McDonald's. She said nothing about McDonald's. Okay? And she even cleaned up a lie because she was saying 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. And he did not wake her up at 8 o'clock. So let me go ahead. I want to bring in another video. This one is going to talk about McDonald's. So now I want to hear this. We gave her this opportunity, the 3/1/2024. We want to see what she had to say about McDonald's. She said nothing about McDonald's. So now, let's go to Stephan Stern's video. We'll start with Stephan Stern's, and then we'll go back to Jen Soto and see what she has to say about McDonald's. So Stephan Stern's, let's see if we're all queued up. In fact, I'm going to start it at 13. We'll start it right here. All right. Let's bring you guys back in.
I sleep in the upstairs guest bedroom.
Yeah.
And then
February 27, 2024, interview with Stephan Stern's. Let's do it.
she will sleep together in her own bedroom. But last night, or not last night, Sunday, so Jen could get better sleep, she said she's just sent you both upstairs, correct? Gotcha. Okay. Do you remember about what time you went to bed and woke up?
Bed probably 11, quarter after. Wound up after her party. And we were getting up really, really early so we could make good time getting out of the door. So we got up around 7.
Yeah, y'all left pretty early.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see Jen at all in the morning? Or was she
Yes.
still asleep?
Yeah, I saw her a couple of times. I was in and out of her room talking to her.
Got it. Okay. And that was before you left around, what time did you leave? About 8:30?
No, earlier than that, we made such good time. I mean, we were so impressed. We made such good time getting out the door. I mean,
We made so much good time. Such good time. It was so impressive. We made such good time getting out the door. Who talks like that? Who talks like that just to go outside and go to a store and take somebody to school? Who talks like that? We made such a good time. So impressive. We made such a good time. Let's keep going. It's coming up.
we were probably out by 7:30, 7:45.
Okay.
Because we wanted to get McDonald's breakfast. We'd been talking about it anyway. She ended up not wanting it after all.
Got it.
So you said 7:30, 7:45. Let me bring that back just a tad bit. We're at 14:08. I'm going to bring it back to 52. Let's see. Let's just make sure we truly grasp what he said about McDonald's. Let's keep going.
I mean, we were probably out by 7:30, 7:45.
Okay.
Because we wanted to get McDonald's breakfast. We'd been talking about it anyway. She ended up not wanting it after all.
Got it. Any trouble at all recently at home?
No, not recently.
No arguments that you can remember between her and you? Anything that's upset her?
Not for a while.
When was the last time?
Maybe a month. Typical, mood swing stuff. She has some pretty bad PMS when she gets it, and being a teenager on top of it doesn't help.
Okay. I know all about it. Now, I think you said she left her phone, right?
Yeah.
Where did she leave her phone at?
She left it in her room. She's ADHD. So am I, for that matter.
Oh, yeah,
So
you
is
left your
Mom.
phone too, huh?
Yeah. So we try to be on top of her about that, not forgetting things, but we're also a bit forgetful too.
Got it.
But yeah, it's not uncommon for her to forget everything. That
She leave it in her room?
All right, so in this interview, he kind of brushes on it that, they were supposed to go to McDonald's. They left at 7:30, 7:45. I want to hear what Jen has to say now. Big shout out to MM Clear, $4.99 Super Chat says, thank you for all the lives and videos this week. Appreciate you. Trying to mix it up a little bit. There's a lot I want to talk about with Maddie, but I can't lie to you guys. I am not a one-trick pony. There are things that I want to talk about other than Madeline Soto, and I hope that you guys will join me on that journey. Check out those other videos I do. I bring awareness to victims that deserve awareness, and these are very interesting stories. So please make sure that you're checking out the other videos that we're doing as well, so that these other victims can get the same awareness and the same attention that Madeline Soto is getting. Make sure you do that, okay? Even if it's not my channel, do that with other people's channel. It's just a moral thing. Don't just listen to Madeline Soto content. Listen to content bringing awareness to victims, full stop. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we tried to do. We're bringing awareness on these other topics, these other unfortunate tragedies. And listen, My vacation ends on Tuesday. I go back to work on Tuesday and Tuesday evening. So I will be dropping videos every day until, well, every day, period, because I'm going to drop a video on Tuesday too. So just look out. We're on vacation, but it's a staycation. We're going to keep doing this. Appreciate you guys. Before we move over to Jen Soto's interview, where she goes into detail about the McDonald's alibi angle, I do want to say something. I was watching Plunder's show, and she talked about how the district attorney down there in Florida wants to charge her $11,000 to get 50,000 pages of Stephan Stern's phone records. Now, mind you guys, this is not 50,000 actual pieces of paper. This is digital here, right? It's digital, and it's an Excel folder. So if you want to amend something, block something, you can or erase something, you can easily erase it on Excel without going through every single line. You could just type in, let's say there's a phone number that they want to redact. They can just go through Excel, type in the parameters, and it'll redact it throughout that 50,000 page thing. I think this is unfortunate. I don't know what Plunder wants to do. She says she's not starting a fundraiser or whatever. I'm not involved with that. She's teamed up with the Docket, GHI, and other folks getting that stuff. I don't even have money to get in with them. I don't have $1,000 or $2,000 to give them to help them out with that paperwork. But the reason why I brought it up is I hope that they'll be able to get it. And if they do start a fundraiser, I will definitely contribute what I can. I'll definitely send them $100 or two to aid them in this endeavor. But the reason why I bring it up, ladies and gentlemen, is because I believe in that dump, we're going to find a lot of evidence of just how terrible not just Stephan Stearns is, but how terrible Jen Soto is. Because that dump is going to, I've handled many of phone subpoenas in my career. Continue to handle many of phone subpoenas. Even if I pull a phone subpoena, first of all, you're not getting a phone subpoena for more than a year. Most phone companies, let me not give that information out. We don't know what bad guys is watching this show. Just know there's a time limit on phone subpoenas, on phone data that the phone companies keep. Think about it. These phone companies each one of them have tens of millions of customers. And people are doing multiple incoming and outgoing phone calls and text messages a day. Some people text message thousands of text messages in just a day. You only have so much room on your servers to store that stuff. So the amount of space that these companies have is limited, so they don't keep records for too long. The bottom line of me saying that is I've never gotten a phone subpoena back that had anything near 50,000 pages. So if it's a 50,000 page Excel form with phone data, that's what they described, or at least that's what Plunder described it as. I already know what it is. I know what it is. It's a Cellbrite dump. And it's also going to have phone records in it as well. It's nothing to stop them from combining the phone subpoena dump with the Cellbrite dump. And the Cellbrite dump is going to give them the text message incoming and outgoing. The Cellbrite dump is going to have a record of the text messages. It's going to be more complete than the records of the text messages that are saved from the carrier. The Cellbrite dump might even have information on the conversations that this guy was having via social media, because those clicks are recorded by your phone. Even if the phone can't read what's being said on the actual app, the fact that you clicked it into the phone might have a record of what you're putting into that app. Oh, the rabbit hole gets deep when it comes to the technology, guys. If we are able as a community, via the generosity and the hard work of Plunder and Docket and GHI and all the people who are part of that group that are getting all these dumps, and even Grizzly, she does it on her own. I don't think she's a part of that team, but she does her own subpoenas. I think what we're going to read in that dump is going to be very telling, because we will, for the first time, get to see the communications between Jen Soto and Stephan Stearns. This is my theory. I could be totally wrong. We could get the documents and not have that stuff in there. But it's my theory. And then we will really have good standing on if we need to do a call for action. What am I talking about? What is Strategic talking about in the middle of a show? He going left, we supposed to be going right, and he going left, and all this crazy stuff. Typical Strategic Eyes show. What do I mean by call for action? Because if we view those messages and Stephan Stearns is saying incriminated stuff to Jen Soto and they gave her derivative use immunity after knowing that she knew something that she shouldn't have known, oh, there's going to be some hell to pay for that district attorney's office down there. We need to stand up and demand justice for Maddie. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Let's not get too crazy. Let's not get too antsy in the pantsy. I just know that there had to be a conversation, in my opinion, between this girl, Jennifer Soto, and Stephan Stearns, where something incriminating was said. I just have a feeling deep in my core, that nothing is as it seems with this woman, Jen Soto. And I have a feeling, I could be wrong, that 50,000 XL phone dump is going to have the answers that we're looking for. Anyway, let's get back to the show. I'm sorry. Don't beat me up. I'm surprised I didn't get a text from Aki like, what are you doing? Get back on track. Get back. I want you guys to listen to. Let me go ahead and just bring it back to me and set up the next screen for you guys. So this is Jen Soto, and make sure I got the times right. Big shout out to Aki for laying out these timestamps for me. Okay, I think it's this. Boom. Okay. Perfect. I'm going to bring it back just a tad bit more. And let's go ahead. Let me bring you guys in. Listen to this.
Okay. Did you see her on Monday morning? Visually see her? No. Did you hear her? I heard many people in the kitchen. I'm not sure if it was my roommate or her specifically. Okay. Is your roommate a male or a female? Female. Okay. They're both females. When was the last time you physically saw? Wednesday, 11 o'clock. I'm sorry. Sunday, 11 o'clock. Sunday when you sent her to bed? To bed. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, and then when you woke up, you said you woke up briefly because Stephan went in there. Did you go back to sleep? Yes. What time did you get up? Let me see if I actually have my alarm set. No, I don't have the specific day on there. Let me check something real quick. I'm pretty sure I woke up around 9 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And then I left at 9:30. I had an appointment. I had a doctor's appointment at like 10:15. Mm-hmm. But they took a while. And then by the time they did my blood work and whatever, I think I got home somewhere between 11 and 11:15. Okay. When you got back, was Stephan here? I'm pretty sure he was, yeah. What was he doing? Just sitting in my room. At my computer desk. On his phone. Okay. What did you guys do? We chatted for a little bit. I asked him what had happened because he had called me earlier. Mm-hmm. At 10... Let me see. pretty sure he called me around 10:18.
What did he call you for?
To let me know, that they didn't go to McDonald's as planned. He had asked her multiple times if she wanted to stop at McDonald's, because that was the plan the night before, that they were going to wake up early. He was going to take her to McDonald's, do like a special McDonald's breakfast, and then drop her off at school early because she wanted to get there a little early. But on his way to school, she was very sleepy and wanted to sleep in the car. And she said she did not want to do McDonald's. She just wanted to be dropped off.
Okay.
Also to let me know that he left his phone at home, because I had called him multiple times and he hadn't picked up. He had left his phone at home by accident. He had went to the vape shop, but they didn't open on time, so he had waited for quite a while in front of the vape shop. They didn't open, so he left and came back, and we hung out a little bit, and then I think he left again to the vape shop to go buy what he needed.
Big shout out to the research crew for showing that love, having a little fun with Jen Soto's face, making her the, what is that? What is that guy, the purple guy? I know the Hamburglar, but who's the purple guy, guys? Somebody shout that out inside of the chat. It looks like you guys like it too. Doesn't her story sound rehearsed, ladies and gentlemen? Doesn't it sound rehearsed? Big shout out to A Obsidian with a $6.99 Canadian dollars. Appreciate you for showing that love to the stream. Doesn't her story sound rehearsed? Like she practiced it. Somebody said Grimace. Thank you so much, Foxy Amazon. Grimace. Jennifer Grimace. I don't believe anything this woman is saying. A few more seconds, we're going to read some of her statements.
Okay.
Do you want the name of the vape shop?
Yes. Do you have it?
And then, like, the way she says you want the name of the vape shop, when people are being helpful like that, they're usually being deceptive. They're usually being deceptive. Like, yo, you want the name of the vape shop? Like, yeah, we got that down pat. So, yeah, go follow that up, because that's definitely going to fall in line with our alibi, because we know that he was there at this time and that time. Yeah. Go back that up. See, for the uninitiated, you looked at, oh, she's being helpful. She's just trying to help the detective mark things off the list. No, it's deception. It's 100% deception, ladies and gentlemen. Whenever somebody does that, they're just offering up information. Hey, you want that? You want me to get you the phone number? Oh, yeah. He said he went there at that time. You want the name? You want the phone number? Yeah. There's usually deception.
That's top of my mind. I'm sure we're going to talk again soon, and we'll have more.
No, I'm just saying, because that might be helpful if you want to see like surveillance or anything.
Now, it's one thing if she says, like, listen, he's the last person to see my daughter. I don't trust him. I think he may have done something. This is where he said he went, and I happen to have that phone number. That's different. But listen to how she's saying it. Like, she's telling the detective how to do their job, but she's not saying it because she doesn't believe Stephan Stearns. It's almost like she's trying to throw the detective off, just like she used all types of other tactics to throw them off, such as, we dropped Maddie off at the church together. She didn't say together, but we dropped Maddie off at the church. Was that not deception? And did that not give Stephan Stearns an alibi, because it made it seem as though another person was in the car with him other than Madeline Soto, namely Jennifer Soto, who said, yeah, we dropped him off. Or he wanted to go to the McDonald's. She wanted to go to McDonald's. Everybody wants to go to McDonald's. They went to McDonald's. They didn't go to McDonald's. All alibis. Big shout out to Abigail Rose, 2-month member, patrol level. It's a high level of the membership, and I appreciate that. She says she sounds like a tween with her fake voice. Believe me, everything about Jennifer Soto is fake. Let's keep going.
Okay, so at some point, I understand he gets like a flat tire and he's not able to go with you to pick school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you get to the school, how do you realize that she wasn't there?
So I went to go, I usually leave around 2:30 to pick her up. She gets out of school at 4. So I wait that.
All right. This is important. And then after she's done explaining this, we're going to go to the documents. But I want to play this out because this is in line with the other question we was asking. Like, did she really go and try and pick up Madeline Soto? So I want to hear what she has to say because the other statements go into this as well. Maybe it might answer some questions for the previous question that we had in a different show. Who knows? But I think it's worthy of listening. Big shout out to Kate Eleanor with a $2 super chat. It says, thank you at Strategic. LL from ML from England. Thank you so much. We got a lot of people from across the pond showing a lot of love to little old Strategic. You guys have made Strategic let me put the God voice on. International. Yeah, we're international, baby. Let's keep going.
It takes me about 25 minutes to get to the school, and then I wait about an hour for her to get out. I waited the whole time, and then when the bell rang and then it was time for her to come out, she wasn't one of the first kids like she normally is. And I realized I was holding up the line because everyone behind me had children, and they needed to get out because I was the first in line. So after about, I'm going to say, I think it was like 4:10, she didn't come out and I was holding up the line, so I drove away. I said, maybe I forgot to tell her that I was picking her up that day because I don't know if she knew that I wasn't working that day. But I had assumed that she thought, she knew that I was going to go get her. So because she never came out, I left and I went. She works less than, I'm going to say it's like a 3-minute drive from the school. It's very close. She works in the Hunters Creek Villages area. I drove that way, and I drove along the path that she would walk, and I didn't see her. And then office, I asked, hey, has she gotten here yet? They said no. And I said, okay, let me wait a little bit. And I parked back again.
Hold on. I need to go back because I think I just felt like I missed something. I'm sorry, guys. I just felt like I missed something. Let me listen.
She works less than, I'm going to say it's like a 3-minute drive from the school. It's very close. She works in the Hunters Creek Villages area. I drove that way, and I drove along the path that she would walk, and I didn't see her. And then office, I asked, hey, has she gotten here yet? They said no. And I said, okay, let me wait a little bit. And I parked back again on Hunters Park Lane, I think. And I waited along that lane to see if I would see her walking. And I didn't see her walking. And it was about 4:30, 4:35. At this point, she should have. So I went back to the office.
I gotta say this picture we have in the background is of Maddie's book bag. I believe that Stephan Stearns covered it purposely with paint to try and hide evidence. I really think he tried to destroy evidence by covering it with paint. But anyway, let's keep going.
And then I was like, is she here yet? No, she hasn't gotten here. And I said, okay, hold on. Let me see. I called her best friend. And I was like, hey, are you... I don't know if I told her I was picking her up from school today or to walk to the office, but I don't see her anywhere. And she goes, no, she never came to school today. She didn't come to first or second period. And I said, what do you mean? We dropped her off close to school. She should have walked to school. She goes, no, she never made it to any of her periods. And I said, can you please check with your other friends in your other classes to see if she ever made it? She got back to me and said no. At this point, I started to panic because I realized something was wrong. I emailed one of her teachers, a few of her teachers actually, and one of them responded to me. He said she didn't make it to his period at all, and he checked all her other classes, and she didn't make it to school at all. That's when I knew something was truly wrong. And I'm before that email or after that email.
Somebody said they got their TV on Grizzly and their phone on me. See, we have 1,000 people in here right now if Grizzly wasn't going live. I didn't even know she was live. Shoot, I'm about to go to Grizzly. No, I'm just joking. Appreciate everybody who's joining me today. Much love. You guys are awesome. Grizzly is great. She's very nice to the channel, very kind person. And I love her style. Much different style than mine, man. She's like a true crime encyclopedia. And I'm like a true crime warrior. I'm rogue, man. I got my spare. I'm channeling into my African ancestors, man. I got the spare. I'm coming for you. You know what I mean? So it's two different styles, and that's great because you guys as an audience, you could get to appreciate two different types of true crime channels instead of kind of like listening to the same style over and over and over again. That's not me. I'm passionate. The same passion that I'm here crazy is the same passion that I bring to my job. Like when I'm in there and I catch a guy, I'm in the lieutenant's office like, yo, boss, I got him. Yeah, I got him. You guys gotta see me. You laugh at me. You literally laugh at me. Like when I'm watching that video and I see that mother effer spin the corner and I catch his face and I hit the space bar on VLC player and it freeze frames and I get that nice face shot, I'm like, I'm out. I'm like a rocket ship. Once, it's like I got a fire in my pants. The moment I got that face, blast off, boosh, Lieutenant, I got him. I don't even go to the sergeant. F the sergeant. No, I'm just joking. I love the sergeants. LT, I got him. Look. The same passion you see here is the passion that I bring to my job every day. I love this crap. I love getting these bad guys, man. I love it. There's no gray area. You know, you could, somebody steals something, depending on who you are and your worldview, you could say, well, maybe the person stole because they're poor or maybe they had a tough life or something. There's no excuse for, I'm going to say it, rape. There is no excuse. People sometimes make excuse for murder. Like, oh, maybe they have a tough life or they didn't know better or they got mental illness or whatever. Nobody makes excuses for rape. I've spoken to the most conservative people. I've spoken to the most liberal people on the planet. And it's all consensus. Like we all meet in the same room with the same idea that there's never an excuse for rape. So in the lane that I'm sailing, the investigations I'm doing, everybody is on my side. I have no friction. I have nobody who's out there saying, well, maybe, oh, come on, don't be so tough. Da, 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 da. I have free reign to just go crazy because there's never an excuse for rape. And rape is the most horrible thing you could do to another human being other than take their life. So, yeah, I'm crazy. I'm crazy like a fox. Let's keep going. All right, so we'll stop it there, and I want to go and check out some, do some documents, man. Trying to figure this out, man. We're trying to figure this out, man. We are trying to figure this out. Let me make this big. All right, so we'll start with the first one. All right, so this is from Stephan Stearns. Stephan currently resides in Northport, Florida, but comes to Kissimmee, Florida, occasionally spend time with Jennifer and Madeline. On February 25th, 2024, at approximately 20:45 hours, Stephan arrived at Madeline and Jen's residence located at blank. When he arrived, Jennifer was still at work, and he directed Madeline to get ready for bed. Picture that. This is not even her father, not even her dad. Picture that. He's barking orders to this little girl that's not even his kin. Once Jennifer arrived, she informed Stephan and Maddie she would like to sleep in and directed them to sleep upstairs in the guest room. The following morning, and I thought that Maddie's room was, all right, so we got 3 rooms that these folks utilize. It's never made sense to me. You got the master bedroom, which is a official bedroom, architecturally designed bedroom. This was a part of the original structure of the apartment. Then you have a makeshift bedroom that supposedly is Maddie's bedroom that was made inside what was supposed to be the living room. And then you have another architecturally designed original structure bedroom we all know as bedroom number 4. Jen says that Maddie is a bad sleeper. She kicks, she prods, she turns. She does all kinds of stuff in her sleep. She said she wanted to sleep in and have a good night's rest. I get it. Why didn't she just make Maddie sleep in her room, which is inside of the living room? Why did she have to specifically send Maddie and Stephan Stearns to bedroom number 4, which is all the way upstairs? Why not say, all right, I need to sleep in, so Maddie, you can't sleep with me today? Sleep in your room, inside of the living room. And Stephan, go up to bedroom number 4, which was kind of like his bedroom when he split from Jen and they were no longer sleeping in the same bed. Go sleep in bedroom number 4. Or, since Stephan had allegedly moved out, right? Why not say, hey, Steph, let Maddie sleep in bedroom number 4 and you sleep in the living room? It never really made sense to me why she specifically needed both of them to go sleep together in a room. When this little girl had her own space, it was not an appropriate space, I will say that. Whether it's appropriate or not, she had her own space, which was the living room. But anyway, let's keep going. The following morning, Stephan woke up at approximately 700 hours, 7:15, to get an early start so they could purchase food from McDonald's before school. Madeline and he left the residence between 7:30 and 7:45 and headed towards the McDonald's located at 1401 Town Loop Boulevard, Orlando, Florida. On the way to McDonald's, Maddie slept the entire time, and once in the area, Stephan asked her if she still wanted McDonald's, to which she stated she did not. Let's go down here. Stephan stated he was bad at reading maps, but he believed they came across Town Loop Boulevard. Stephan then stated he drives to the school. He usually takes John Young Parkway and makes a left turn when he sees the McDonald's. I'll go back a little bit just to finish up on what he said about the McDonald's. I asked Stephan if he pulled into the McDonald's plaza, to which he advised he did not because she said she did not want McDonald's. I then asked if at any point he made a U-turn, and Stephan stated he made a U-turn at the church parking lot to try and sell her on McDonald's one more time because he was still hungry. Madeline informed Stephan she just wanted to go to school. Therefore, they turned back around. According to Stephan, he made the U-turn in the church parking lot located at 13502 Town Loop Boulevard. Detective Acosta showed Stephan a map that showed the school and the McDonald's and asked Stephan to show him on the map his direction of travel. Let's go to the next one. Big shout out to Amber, who's now Strategic Eyes Recruit. Thank you for supporting the channel. We have 600 people watching the show right now. Please do hit the like button. Support the channel for those 600 people who are currently watching us. Let's keep going. We have to zoom in on this one a little bit. So this one, I should have highlighted it. Sorry. Not going to be that bad. Here you go. I got it down here, but I just want to see if he says something about the McDonald's up here. All right, so we'll start from up here. What we need is right here. I want to give you guys some context. So on the morning of February 26, 2024, Jen was woken up by Stephan taking their dog for a walk at approximately 7 or 8 o'clock. Remember, later on in that video, she said that she was mistaken. She doesn't remember what time. She just assumed it was 8 o'clock, but now she's retracted that. In the March 1st interview, she retracted that. She said this was incorrect. This was wrong. Let's keep going. Jen further explained that she did not actually hear Maddie getting ready in the morning, specifically as there are also 2 roommates in the home. Remember, when she initially told her story, she said that she saw Madeline that morning. So that was another lie that she told, but let's keep going. Jen fell back asleep shortly after being awoken up at approximately 0900 hours. Jen woke up again, and Stephan had not yet returned home after taking Madeline to school. Jen left for an appointment at approximately 9:30. Stephan called Jen on the phone at approximately 10:18 hours to inform her that he had just returned home from completing some errands. Now, this is what that document dump is just going to show us if we are able to get our hands on those phone records. It will show us if Stephan actually called Jen Soto at 10:18 and had this conversation with her. Stephan informed Jen he originally planned to take Maddie to a nearby McDonald's for breakfast. However, Madeline did not wish to go. Now, this is an investigative interview summary. So it's possible things could have been lost in translation. But this does not read as though Jen Soto had prior knowledge of him taking Madeline to McDonald's. It does not read as though she had prior knowledge. Now, in other statements, she will talk as though she had prior knowledge. She said that they had this conversation the night before, but in this investigative summary by the Orange County Sheriff's Department, it reads as though she found out that morning at 10:18 when he called her, not like she knew the night before that they were going to go to McDonald's. Let me read that again just to give it clarity, make sure I'm not misquoted. Stephan called Jen on the phone approximately 10:18 to inform her that he just returned home from completing some errands. Stephan informed Jen he originally planned to take Maddie to a nearby McDonald's for breakfast. However, Maddie did not wish to go, so he took her directly to school. Does that sound like there's prior knowledge? Does that sound like it's something that they discussed the night before? It's interesting because I believe in the statement where she says that they spoke about it the night before is in the Kissimmee interview, and the Kissimmee interview happened after the Orange County interview. Because remember, Orange County was initially the lead agency on this case. And then later on, they determined that it was Kissimmee that had the lead. But let's keep going. Stephan also informed Jen he attempted to go to the smoke shop to get a e-cigarette supplies immediately after dropping off Maddie. However, the shop was closed. Stephan then returned to the home at approximately 10 o'clock and spent some time there before going back out to the smoke shop. Let's go to the last one we have. See what our time looks like. It's only 1 hour and 12 minutes. We're making good time, amazing time, stupendous time, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious time. Let's talk like Stephen Stearns. All right, I'm corny. I know it. Let's keep going. This one happened on 2/25. Jen stated Maddie went to the guest bedroom to sleep along with Stephan because she just started a new job and needed to get some sleep, which she had not gotten recently. Jen stated Maddie typically sleeps with her, and when Stephan comes into town, he would sleep in the guest bedroom. Interesting. Once again, she usually sleeps with her. He sleeps in bedroom number 4. Why not tell Maddie to sleep in the living room instead of sleeping in bedroom number 4 with Stephan Stearns, since the living room is Maddie's actual bedroom? Let's keep going. Jen stated Stephan moved out of her house sometime in December 2023 because he was offered a job. We know that's a lie, by his father. That's not the reason why he moved out. From her own mouth, we know that's a lie. Who lives in Northport, Florida. Jen stated Stephan has visited 2 to 3 times since he moved out. We know that's a lie. He pretty much visited once a week, sometimes more than once a week, since he moved out. Because not only was he doing regular visits to hang out with Maddie, but he was also going up there to obtain his packages, because for some reason, he had all his packages delivered to Jen's house instead of his parents' house in Northport. Let's keep going. He visited 2 to 3 times since he moved out. Jen stated Stephan was planning on staying 1 week during this time because he was going to help with Madeline and their dog while she was in training for her new job. Jen stated she couldn't remember when Stephan arrived. She stated it was either Saturday or Sunday morning. How would she not know when Stephan arrived, at least at her house, when he came to the house on the day of her daughter's birthday party? Remember, her actual birthday was a couple days prior, but Sunday was the birthday party. Or rather, Sunday was the day that she returned from her grandmother's house, to be 100% accurate. Sunday was the day that she returned from the grandmother's house. Let's keep going. Let's not get caught up in the weeds. Jen stated she heard people getting ready in the morning, but couldn't say for sure who it was, and stated Stephan accidentally woke her up while trying to get the leash on their dog. Jen said she was going to help Stephan, but he was able to get the leash on the dog without her help. Jen confirmed she never saw Maddie that morning. Jen stated when she takes Maddie to school, she would leave no later than 8:50 in the morning. Jen stated the night before, they agreed to have Stephan get Maddie ready for school and take her. Jen said Stephan was going to take Madeline to McDonald's, but she changed her mind in the last minute. All right, I want to check something out. Which one of these interviews happened first? This one says on 2/25/2024 is when this was taken. Okay. It's got dates everywhere. I don't really I can't even really understand this supporting deposition. But anyway, a supplemental report. But let's keep going. Over here, I think the dates are wrong on that. So this interview said it happened on 2/27/2024 at 11:16 hours. That's what this is saying. This is saying, is there another? I'm so. Oh, that's why. Okay. I understand now. I understand. I understand what I see here. Let me just give me one more second so I can really. These are the same interviews. It looks like they kind of transcribed this onto their case supplemental report. Why would they do that? I don't know. But this is the same interview. All right. Let's bring it back to me, guys. We've been doing this for an hour and 17 minutes so far. Let me fix this up. Give me a second. You guys have been amazing so far. I really appreciate your patience. I just don't know, guys. I really don't know. My intuition tells me that Stephan Stearns made this up with Jen Soto. That's what my intuition tells me. My intuition tells me that he never was going to do this McDonald's thing. That the McDonald's thing so conveniently lines up with Stephan Stearns having an alibi to be out of the house at an hour earlier than when he should have taken this little girl to school if she was live and able-bodied. I do not believe that they had this conversation prior to Madeline's death. I believe that this is a concocted story that Jennifer went along with to protect Stephan. Now, I do think in Jennifer's obsession to protect Stephan Stearns, that she would be willing, thinking that Stephan Stearns is innocent of doing anything to Maddie, that she'd be willing to say this story in order to help not make him look guilty. Because think about it. If they didn't have this story, then the question would be immediately from detectives. The detectives would speak to the mother first, and they would get the information from the mother, and the mother would say, I take Madeline Soto to school at 8:50. School starts at 9 o'clock, a little after 9 o'clock. She does not need to be at school any earlier. So I take her to school at 8:50. That would be the baseline, right? Then the question would be, does Stephan Stearns know what time to take her to school? Yes. Stephan Stearns knows she has to be out the house by 8:50 to get to school on time. The first question that the detectives would then ask Stephan Stearns would be, why did you leave at 7:30? Why did you leave so early? So Stephan Stearns needed an alibi for why he should leave so early. That alibi is the special McDonald's breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. That is the alibi. I hate to say I feel, because we want to operate on facts, right? But in the absence of facts, we got to have our theories, right? We're like scientists. We get our theory and then we test it and we prove it. I feel that this was a concocted story. It's too convenient. And since I don't feel that Stephan Stearns came to Kissimmee for the purpose of murdering Maddie, I think there was a lot going on. There was a lot of feelings, a lot of anger. There was things happening between him and Maddie that we're not yet privy to. I don't think that he came expecting to kill her that night. Something happened in bedroom number 4 that sent him over the edge and he took her life. So why is it now he has this convenient alibi that will allow him to leave the house at 7:30, over an hour before she needed to get up and go to school? Why now? Hour and 20 minutes to be exact. His story only works if somebody backs it up. If somebody who, at least at the time of this investigation, had credibility. And that person is Jen Soto, aka Grimace. She backed him up. In the eyes of the detectives who's trying to put this puzzle together, on February 27th, when she's backing him up saying, yes, there was a reason why he should have been out of that house early, it was a plausible reason. But now in hindsight, now that we have all the facts that we have about Jen Soto, aka Grimace's character, I don't believe it. I don't believe that Jen Soto and Stephan Stearns discussed Maddie having a special breakfast on the morning of 2/26/2024. I don't believe it. And that's my conclusion, guys. That's where I'm at on this one. I appreciate you guys for joining me. You guys were amazing. You guys are great. This tragedy just keeps on giving. And it's going to keep on giving until we get into that courtroom, or until Stephan Stearns is man enough to plead guilty and not to a deal. Plead guilty and accept the death penalty. That is the moment we will get justice in this case. And unfortunately, I don't think we'll ever get justice with Jen Soto. Guys, hit that like button, support the channel. We got over 600 people watching this live stream, and I'm very grateful and humbled that amount of people are willing to take time out of their lives to watch me talk about something that I'm interested in, talk about my life's work, which is doing sex crimes investigations. I've been doing law enforcement since I was 21 years old, and it's almost over. It's almost over. 18 years, 2 more years to go. I don't know if I'm staying, I don't know if I'm going, but it's been a wild ride, a long, wild ride, and enjoy and continue to enjoy every minute of it, but father time is catching up. There are times that I get up in the morning and I'm just like, man, I wish I could just stay home with my kids. I wish I could just do something else. I hope that I can continue to find joy in the work that I do and stick around for even longer, because I believe in the mission, and I pray that, I could help more people before I decide to hang it up. Let's go to the comment section, and then let's get out of here. Let me scroll up a little bit. If anybody wants to tell me something, please put at True Crime with Strategic or whatever you have to say to make your name glow so that I can see that you want to say something to me. Let's see if we have anything going on here. Manda, special McDonald's breakfast. What a load of crap. They adamantly ate Mickey D's all the time. Maddie was probably sick of it. I think they both just go with the opposite of reality with MS. Wow. Good point, Manda. Appreciate you. And Arnie says, it's really small. I think it's Arnie or Annie. Let me see. Amy. I'm sorry, I'm getting old. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. There you go. Blew it up a little bit. Amy says, Jen never even sent the first message out asking if Maddie was at school on the Monday until 5:26, because she already knew she wasn't there. That's a good point, man. At least I think it's a good point. Osceola County District Attorney feels differently. It's dirt under the bridge. Remember that? Dirt under the bridge. Let's keep going. Kylie says she'll be another Nicole Kissinger. We'll never hear from her again. I don't know who Nicole Kissinger is, but I'll look it up. Hopefully nothing bad happened to her. Veronica Villanueva says she's so lazy she doesn't even brush her hair, get dressed. She says she sleeps in her everyday clothes, no makeup. Has she seen herself in the mirror? No one would look at her ever. That is so mean, Veronica. Says the guy who has her dressed up as, well, I didn't make it, but my research crew did, and I'm putting it out there, having her looking like Grimace. But I don't want to be too mean to her. Let me take it down. Let me take the Grimace down. I don't want to be too mean. Let's not body shame people. But she doesn't take care of herself, and it's evident. Kitty B says if she wasn't also guilty, she would have thought something was up, that he was leaving that early. That's a fact. Why leave that early? But apparently, she's knocked out. She can't sleep. I mean, she can't wake up. Remember? Marion Carpenter says, you're not reading the comments. Well, what did you say, Marion? What do you want me to see? What do you want me to see? And did the person say at strategic? And if it's really important, drop a 99-cent super chat or something. You don't got to spend $20. Drop a super chat and I'll definitely see it. Loli Manda says, Stephan needs to turn on Jen. He will do and say anything to lessen the punishment. Yeah, I think so too. I'd love to know what he knows about Jen, but I don't want his punishment be lessened. I would rather Jen walk, having known something. As long as she didn't physically participate, I would rather her walk than Stephan Stearns not face the needle. Stephan Stearns has to face the needle in my world. In my world. I'm not saying that is sacrosanct. My opinion means nothing, but I want him to face the needle. Let's keep going. Luna says, after almost a year, she's free as a bird. That she is. Erica B says, thank you, Strategic. Thank you for all you do and being a moderator for the show and showing love. Bethany K says, Grimace needs to be holding a bottle of pills. She's the pill police. Holding a bottle of meds. She's the pill police. Wow. I like that one. That was funny. Wow. Let's keep going. Miss Connie says you're still young. Member says October 2025. Ugh. I guess it's retirement for Memma. Let's keep going. Veronica says, so tired of YouTube ads. Veronica, one of the best things you can invest in is YouTube Premium. And it's a little pricey now. I kind of got mine when they first did it, so I was grandfathered in for a long time, so I pay a little less than everybody else. I've had YouTube Premium for like 5 or 6 years, maybe even longer. but it's the best investment that I've ever made. I don't know what YouTube is like with ads. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I don't put extra ads. You could choose. I put balanced, which means that it puts just the right amount of ads. So if you're seeing a lot of ads, I'm really sorry to hear it, but definitely invest in YouTube Premium. Marion Carpenter's states has been posted their statement. They said, I was saying that, just went away. Let me bring it back up. I'm sorry. I was saying that maybe Maddie told Stephan that she might be pregnant, and maybe that is what caused him to kill her. Marion, yeah, we spoke about that. Definitely. Good point. That is definitely one of my major theories that I put out there. I've talked about it so much, I didn't bring it up today because we were kind of focusing on the whole McDonald's thing. But yes, especially here on this channel, True Crime with Strategic, we've gotten a lot of flack over our pregnancy theory. I got doxxed, I got threatened, I got all kinds of stuff because I had the audacity to say that I believe that Madeline Soto either was pregnant or they believed she was pregnant. Because remember, she's a little girl, so any changes in her period, in her body, she might construe that as being pregnant. She might be afraid and talk to Stephan about it, and now he thinks she's pregnant, even though it's just a scare, she's not really pregnant. I've said that for a while, and that's a really good point, and I really appreciate you coming up with that on your own. But yes, I've said that for quite a while, and I've gotten a lot of heat, a lot of flack, a lot of hate for it. But, you know, we don't come on these channels and we don't do these things to be loved, okay? If you're going to make a YouTube channel, start telling people your opinions, you're going to sometimes not hear things you want to hear. I'm going to put it on mute real quick. Wifey's calling me. Hold on. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I got to go look for something real quick. I'm going to put on this interview, and I'll be right back, guys.
But I started panicking and freaking out because she should have been to school. She should have made it.
And then I understand she forgot her phone, right?
Yeah.
Is it common for her to not have her phone?
Yes. She's got ADHD. She's super forgetful. She doesn't even... She never realizes that she's in the shower for a whole hour. She loses track of time. She's very...
And then you guys went looking for her, right?
Yes.
Where did you look? Like, did you drive somewhere? Did you walk? Like, where did you go look for her?
Okay. So, after her best friend called me, actually, or I talked to her best friend on the phone, I went back to the school to see, let me check her official attendance. Let me see what's going on. They were already closed. Nobody was at the school. So I searched by backtracking into the school and then coming back out and seeing that there were no kids at the school at all. So then I drove to the office. Everything was driving. And then I think that response from her teacher at that point. But,
did you come back to the apartment at any point yesterday once you realized she was missing?
Stephan was at home waiting for us to get back. And then when I told him something was wrong, she never made it to school, he completely hauled it back to me. And then we all stood there waiting for the cops to show up, and they didn't show up till like 7:30. It took them a while to respond. I think they were looking for other missing kids around the area too. But yeah, no, we did not come back home until we were done with the police. We were done with everything. There was nothing else for us to do except come back
Where
home.
was her phone when all of this was happening?
With me.
How did you get the phone if you never came back here?
I took it with me to go pick her up from school. I was going to give it to her when she got in the car and be like, listen, you forgot your phone again, and let her play on it. I'll do that sometimes when she forgets that. I bring the phone with me and I just give it to her afterwards. But I had brought it with me to go pick her up from school.
Okay. And you works where?
I won't get you the address exactly.
Yeah. And then, did you at any point check her phone out while you had it?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Okay. Actually, I started looking, but I could not concentrate on reading anything. I was too panicked and too worried. I handed the phone to my sister. She's the one, and my niece. They both started going through her texts. I saw her texts. Nothing seemed weird. No weird random people. Everyone is someone I was familiar with or had heard about. They checked her Roblox. They checked her Discord. I checked her Discord as well. There was nothing weird. One of the police officers taught me to look at deleted text messages.
Sorry about that. I gotta get out of here. Wifey left her job phone. I was looking for it because, you know, she does the whole medical stuff. So it's important stuff on there. And I was like, well, you know, let me just, she's like, oh, can you check it? I was like, listen, let me hang up the phone on you. Let me call the phone and see if I can hear it ringing in the house. I call the phone. Somebody has it. So they told me where they're at. I got to go and pick the phone up. It's not in anywhere salacious. It's at a doctor's office. So I'm going to go get her phone because it's important stuff she need me to tell her. And I got to get out of here. So I'll see you guys later, man. It was really cool. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm so sorry. Let me see if make sure I don't miss any super chats or anything like that before I leave. There we go. We got a super chat from the Humanity with a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much. That's why I scroll down. I don't want to miss anything, especially when people are supporting the channel. All right, so thank you for your time, guys. I hope we tried to figure something out together. I don't know. You know, it is what it is. I just don't feel like she's honest. I think that she's lying to us, but we'll explore this stuff more deeply at a later time. And guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. Please hit the like button. Please come on a replay crew. Put something, even if it's just where you're from, what location you're watching from, put some inside of the chat so that we can get that engagement. And please consider becoming a member and a Patreon member. We have the Patreon, and the membership is awesome. Everybody who views it loves it, and my retention rate is very high for YouTube. YouTube gives me all those metrics. People typically stick around as members. Most people, 1 month they'll get a membership, then they'll cancel it. For most YouTube channels, my channel, people are sticking around because I'm giving a ton of content, and we're having a great time in that space. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.